Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Lucas Oil Raceway, also known as IRP, here in Indianapolis, as we bring you tonight's Super Big Ten Series. The Big Ten Super Series. I jumbled that all up as my co-host next to me, Justin Smith, is in the booth with me here once again tonight as we get ready to go with what is going to be an exciting night of racing. My name is the boss man, Al Smith, and I have alongside me the bearded wonder from Wilton, Justin Smith. Justin, welcome to IRP on what is a beautiful sunny afternoon.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful down here at IRP. Happy to be back for the second week in a row in the broadcast booth. Down here trackside right now, we've got 77 degrees is the ambient temperature. The track, though, the track surface has been up to 111, 112 degrees at times at practice. So keep an eye on this track temp, as if it goes up even more, it'll continue to get greasy and tricky for these drivers.
Yeah, we are getting ready to go with the Ryco E-Performance 125 here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. Last week, the season opener down at Myrtle Beach Speedway was the Johnson Chassis 150, where Ryan Kuhn picked up the race win over Justin Hazlitt, Garrett Zacharias, Jared Jackson, and Pete Polini. Rounded out your top five 1 week ago. Right now, they are in the Ryco pole qualifying time right now, and we have 11 drivers so far that have taken time, and they got about 5 minutes left in practice. Right now, nobody on the racetrack, Justin, but we talk about last week's race. We saw a lot of give and take. We saw a lot of hard racing, but in the end, Ryan Kuhn went to victory lane and marked his territory as one of the front contenders for the championship this season.
Yeah, Ryan Kuhn put on a dominating performance last week, leading just about every lap all the way to the checkered flag, but had a lot of competition, especially from Justin Hazlitt. Jared Jackson was working his way up through the field, and we had a lot of guys that came right up through, like Curtis Critchley. He started deep in the field, worked his way to the front. This track, though, going to be a little bit different groove tonight. These drivers are going to be working more towards the middle of the outside line, unlike last weekend where everyone was trying to fight for the bottom.
After 1 week of race, and this is what your current point standings look like for the Big Ten Super Series. It's Ryan Kuhn with a 5-point lead over Justin Hazlitt, and I can tell you right now, unofficially, Justin Hazlitt has the Ryco E-Performance Fast Time Award so far in qualifications, but like I said, just about 5 minutes left in qualifying for these drivers to go out on the racetrack. And a little bit of games being played right now down on pit road, trying to see if someone will catch a cloud or not. Right now, track temperature at 106 degrees, as you see where your favorite driver sits in the point standings on screen. As that will go away here, and we'll come back here. So we're waiting to see who else will go on the racetrack as we bring up the current qualification for qualifying for the Ryco E-Performance 125. Justin Hazlitt on pole currently with a 22.5, but we have a driver rolling off of pit road, and that will be the number 51 of Pete Polini, and Polini rolling really slow. But look at right now, Justin, there is cloud cover on this racetrack as the 51 rolls very slow off of pit road. Now we'll jump on the gas pedal as he'll go out for his qualification. So Pete Polini in car number 51 rounded out the top five 1 week ago, trying to put in a good qualification here for Ryco E-Performance qualifying.
Yeah, like you said earlier, all these drivers trying to take a look at the sky, trying to get underneath the cloud. If that track temperature drops a few degrees, that can mean the difference between a tenth, even 5/100ths of a second is huge here in qualifying with the field as close as it can be. You'll see guys go out, they'll take it real easy for a lap, try to get some heat in them tires, and then really try to lay down a lap in that second lap of qualifying.
Lap number one going to be in the books for Polini as he comes off turn number 4, and we'll see where that will slot him. Polini will go to second quick with a 22.52. So second quick for Polini as he works lap number 2 down the backstretch. Another driver on the clock that just took the green flag will be the 71 of Garrett Zacharias. And Zacharias was the third place finisher 1 week ago at the Myrtle Beach. And Polini will come around for lap number 2. And a little bit quicker, quick time with a 22.50 for Polini. Garrett Zacharias will slot into your number 5 spot as he works down the backstretch here as he swings by with a mid-state basement number 71 of Zacharias, a driver out of Western New York. He'll slide off turn number 4 a little bit sideways. He'll kiss the wall, so that'll ruin lap number 2. So 6 quick for him. Garrett Thomas in that Mopar number 4. He slid into the number 15th spot on lap number 1. He comes off turn number 4 to put lap number 2 in the books a little bit quicker. We will see if Thomas will go slide up. He'll slide to the 12th spot. Now rolling off of pit road is the number 33 of Thomas Bennett. Bennett in car number 33 will roll down the backstretch looking to get the green flag.
Yeah, Bennett in the 33 here, taking it real nice and easy through 3 and 4. Looking to find his lane off of 4. He'll mash the gas now as he heads down the front stretch. A little bit loose off of 4. All these drivers that have been holding off for this cloudy situation, it's really paying off as we've seen Pete Polini with the reset of the pole. We've also seen Keatman go out there. He laid down the 5th fastest lap. This cloudy condition is starting to wear off those. We're starting to get sun in between 3 and 4. As Thomas Bennett works through 3 and 4, we'll see what this first lap's going to be as he heads down the front straightaway. And it is going to be 12th overall. That'll be a 22.859 for Thomas Bennett in that first lap, as we've got a couple other drivers working their way out now.
Yeah, working underneath the green flag right now will be car number 55 of Jeremy Little. He's going to get sideways and come to a stop here as Ryan Kuhn rolls through turns 3 and 4. So Kuhn going to be on the clock this time off turn number 4. He's your current points leader coming into the night, as Bennett will go to the 6th spot on lap number 2. He's ran a 22.64. So Ryan Kuhn down the backstretch for the first time for his timed lap here in Ryco Esports or E-Performance qualification. First lap time here is going to get off of turn number 4 for Kuhn. Will be good enough for the pole. 22.36 for Ryan Kuhn in that number 72. So Ryan Kuhn going to set the fast time here on lap number 1. Curtis Critchley now rolling down the backstretch, getting ready for his first green flag lap here in qualification. Everybody waiting for the last second. Going to have to hurry up to make sure you get a lap in here in Ryco E-Performance qualification, as Curtis Kirtley going to just roll across the line, maybe running out of time, not going to have enough time to get one lap into the books.
Yeah, we saw the same thing out of Tyler Shattuck in the 37. Started to come out down the front stretch into 1 and 2. Looks like he's going to try to make one last attempt here, but I think we're just going to be running out of time right now. We got about a minute and a half left, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets some time in.
Jeremy Little going to jump to the 8th spot here, is now Critchley working it on the high side through 1 and 2 and work down the backstretch and see if he can get a lap in before the qualification ends. Looks like just about 55 seconds left in qualifying, but Critchley going to turn it sideways and gets in the outside wall. So Critchley going to be there. Now Tyler Shattuck in the McConey setup shop number 37S is on the clock here in the turn number 1.
Yeah, Tyler Shattuck looked real impressive last week. Had a lot of strong runs from the back to the front. Just got caught up into a few incidents here and there, but he's going to be looking to set a good qualifying time down. One of the last competitors out here that'll take time. We'll see what it is as he comes off of 4, heads down the front straightaway, and that 37S McConey setup shop car, that'll put him 5th overall, 22.517, a good lap for Tyler Shattuck. Last minute, he made it in.
Last minute, so you're going to be the top 5, so your Ryco E-Performance Products Fast Time Award, it looks like it's going to go to the driver of the number 72, Ryan Kuhn, and he will get a super late model setup for this week's official races, courtesy of Ryco E-Performance. And just like that, Justin, it is time for feature event racing here at the IRP Raceway, Lucas Oil Raceway Park. I like to call it IRP. It has a bunch of different nicknames, but it's going to put on a lot of great racing for us. And this is what your starting lineup will look like here for tonight's 125 lap event, brought to you by Ryco Esports. Starting on the pole with a quick time of 22.365 will be the 72 of Ryan Kuhn. Starting to his outside, well, it's an all front row 72, as Bladen Edwards and the 72X will start on the outside of the front row. Starting on the inside of row number 2, that'll be the 51. That is Pete Polini and Polini going to roll off in that third spot. And to his right elbow will be the 27 of Justin Hazlitt. Tyler Shattuck in at 37S will roll off fifth, and to his outside, the number 12 on the On Edge Racing entry of Jared Jackson. Seventh starting spot is going to go to the number 88, the Canadian driver of Caden Tufts. Tufts going to roll off seventh, and eighth starting spot will be the number 54 of Mark Keatman. Starting ninth on the grid in the RS Button Shop, Rayco Esport E-Performance entry number 55, the Triple L Motorsports entry of Jeremy Little. And rounding out your top 10 in car number 33 out of New England, it is Thomas Bennett.
All right, we've got here starting off in position number 11 will be the 71 of Garrett Zacharias. To his outside, he'll be joined by the 94 of Kyle Morris. Kyle Morris will roll off in the 12th position. Starting 13th will be the number 90 of Ken Zeems, and starting outside of him will be the 23 of Nicholas Weatherby, starting 14th. Moving on now to 15th will be the 112. That'll be Hayden Devon Cobb. And outside of him will be the 31 of Brad Carpenter, starting 16th. Starting 17th will be the 41 of Mario Ercolani. And outside of him will be the 18, the Mopar entry, the 4 of Grant Thomas. Starting 19th will be the 11 of Cody Verrill. And outside of him will be the 24 of Josh Cole, starting 20th.
21st is going to be Matt Zaccardo in car number 60, and shotgun on the field will be the 27C of Curtis Critchley. Critchley out of the Critchley Gallant Engineering entry will start shotgun on the field, the driver out of Canada. And that is your 22 car field, as Chris Fail and Jimmy Johnson are in the control tower, making everything run smooth as glass here tonight at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park. And that is your 22 car field getting ready to do battle for 125 laps. Justin, we've watched practice over the last few times, and what did you take from practice that our fans out there could be looking forward to in this feature event?
Well, you're going to want to pay attention to these first couple laps here. These tires are going to be cool. They're going to need temperature to stay gripped up and into the track. The track's a little hot. It's going to be a little greasy as they head down into turn number 3, looking to take the green.
Green flag getting ready to come out here as they roll through turns 3 and 4, and it'll be Ryan Coon and Bladen Edwards up on the front row. Green flag is going to be up, and we are underway with tonight's Rayco E-Performance 125.
And we've got a pair of 72s battling down into turn number 1. The 72 of Ryan Coon, though, going to show the nose ahead a little bit as they work even rows of 2 down the backstretch. Hazlitt working to the outside of the 51 now as he gets a run going into 3. Like we said earlier, the outside line is usually the preferred line, but Ryan Coon now trying to battle his way up to the front as he tries to clear the 72, working his way into turn number 1.
A little bit of contact that time off turn number 4 is going to allow the number 72 of Coon out to the front one over Bladen Edwards. Side by side as that time looks like Hazlitt maybe have kissed the outside wall as they work off of turn number 4. He'll fall back to that 4th position as the 51 of Polini a little bit sideways. Everybody checks up. Good driving down here so far. There, one car up into the outside wall. I believe that is the 94 of Kyle Morse, and Morse going in the wrong direction as he watched Brad Carpenter slide by. He'll fall back in line right there in front of the number 4 of Grant Thomas here. And that, like that, 3 laps already in the books as they work lap number 4.
Yeah, everybody being real generous right now. A lot of give and take going on, letting these tires get heat into them so that way they can really start racing each other. Everybody single file, trying to get a feel for things. As we are early on, we're working lap number 4 as we head into turn 3. Kuhn with a commanding lead out front, very similar to last week. And right now we've got the 12 working his way now, trying to find a different lane going into 1, getting pressure right now from Shattuck. But everybody's being pretty even, trying to keep an even head and get settled in here as they work down the backstretch.
Yeah, this track very tough here to do that at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park. The outside line is the preferred line, but with the extreme temperatures here tonight, as the 12 will go around on the front stretch, the 12 of Jared Jackson goes around, does not hit anything, so he'll be able to point the on-edge entry number 12 back in the right direction, but he went for the slide for life here on the front stretch, and luckily no grass on the front stretch, so he was able to slow that down before contact with the inside concrete barrier. And let's take a look back, see what brings out our first yellow flag here on lap number 7.
Yeah, like I said in the previous lap, the 12 of Jared Jackson was just looking for a different lane off of 4. Starts losing the grip from the rear end, and Shattuck had nowhere to go, couldn't get checked up in time. Makes contact with the On Edge Racing, number 12.
Hey, see it right there on the Turn 3 Racing replay. Let's go back. We'll go on board looking out back with the Karma Salon and Day Spa on board Cameron. You hear the tire slip there, and the 37 just nowhere to go, but able to keep it off the inside wall was the 12 of Jared Jackson. So I believe he will be okay as he gets the car pointed back in the right direction and we come back to alive. He's going to come down pit road, probably look over this race car to make sure there is no damage here on that number 12. A little bit too early to take the tires available, but after a long slide like that, maybe flat spotting those tires, might have to take his tires early on in this event.
Yeah, we also see Critchley and Zaccardo working their way through the pit area. Looks like just a damage check, but the 12 of Jared Jackson, he does have the right side jacked up. Looks like they're going to take tires on the right at least. We're looking at it now. The left side staying on the ground. So, nope, left side comes up. He's going to take all 4 tires here on lap number 8.
Going to take all 4, and it looks like Critchley has come to a stop here on the entrance to pit road. And now is going to pull down into pit road. So maybe some issues on that number 27C as he rolls through pit lane. So something going on with the driver who was the hard charger last week. He will come to his pit box, but it looks like something going awry on that 27. He's going to take right sides as well, Justin. So fresh tires for the 27C. Maybe not liking how the first set felt with him, and they're going to put on another set. But I tell you, the driver out front is the number 72 of Ryan Kuhn. He picked up the win last week. He led every lap at Myrtle Beach and looking to do that again here tonight at Lucas Oil Raceway Park. And, well, Bladen Edwards in that 72X gave him a challenge on the outside. They made contact off of turn number 4. And that gave Kuhn the advantage into turn number 1. But these tires are a little bit worn out. That outside line is going to be where you want to start here in the later stages.
Yeah, the battle of the 72s on the front was interesting for the first lap or so. I feel like if you want a good shot at it, you're going to have to keep Kuhn pressured, and unfortunately, nobody's been able to do that so far. Earlier, we were talking about Critchley coming down pit road. He had a strong run last week, was an absolute blast to watch come from the back to the front. And also joining him down the pit road would be the 94 of Morse after he made hard contact with that turn 1 wall.
Yeah, so pulling out the sheet metal damage on the number 94 Morse, still on the lead lap. Both Critchley and Jackson losing 1 lap to your race leaders right now. But they do have a chance, if we have a yellow flag or 2 down the road, to get that lucky dog pass presented by RS Button Box. The button pass here to get your lap back. And if you're in the market for a new button box, look up RS Buttons Boxes. They are the number 1 leading button box in the proud title sponsor of the Big Ten Super Series, and tell them that the Big Ten Super Series sent you their way as the pace car is down and away. We're looking for a green flag, this time off turn number 4. Kuhn and Edwards, just like the original start. They come out there, Kuhn ready to go. He controls the start. He'll get a good jump down here in the turn number 1. He clears the 37. Here comes Polini. Polini down to the inside under Bladen Edwards the first time down the backstretch after this restart. And Edwards works the outside. He'll hold off Polini. 1 car up on the outside wall. Couldn't make out who that was as they enter turn number 2. If now everybody keeps it clean and green and settled it out. We got a side-by-side battle back here with the number 54, Mark Keatman. He just gets by Shattuck in the turn number 1.
Yeah, Shattuck was the car making contact with the outside wall, headed down the backstretch. He's finally got it filed in now, but he's going to get a challenge on the inside of the 55 from Jeremy Little. Little's going to move up, try to take the lane away from Shattuck. Shattuck, he's trying hard on that outside to keep Little from clearing him, but Little will clear right up in front of the 37 of Shattuck, following through the 71 of Garrett Zacharias. You got to wonder if Shattuck picked up a little bit of marbles on the tires. That'll affect him for about a lap or so. But the 88 of Caden Tufts looking to the inside of Shattuck now. Tufts to the inside of Shattuck as they head down the backstretch, working into 3. Shattuck will charge hard into 3, shutting the door. And to the outside of the 88 of Tufts will be the 23 entry. That'll be Nicholas Weatherby now as he clears Tufts as they head down into 1.
Yeah, Weatherby working the outside of the racetrack is tough, stuck down low. Next driver to move on the outside is the number 90 of Ken Zeems. Zeems working down the backstretch. He's got the momentum on the outside. Zacharias dives down low underneath Little. Can he make the bottom of the racetrack work? He works down off of turn number 4. Zacharias trying to take away that 7th spot. He's going to dive it down low into turn number 1, slide up and cross the nose, slam the door on Jeremy Little. That opens the inside for the 37S of Shattuck, as Little had to roll out of the throttle to stay off the 71 of Zacharias. Here comes Nicholas Weatherby in that Camping World entry number 23. He's trying to make it underneath the 55 a little, and he will do so down here the front stretch into turn number 1.
Zacharias has been in the charge, but Little making contact with that turn 1 wall. He's real slow going right now on the outside. He's going to fade back almost all the way to last position as they work their way out of 2. Everybody now, we got trouble.
One car upside down doing the slide for life. That is the number 24 of Josh Cole, and he is upside down here right underneath our turn 4 camera. As the yellow flag will come out, he'll have to take and call the tow trucks to get down there to the pit road. Let's see what happened to bring out our second yellow flag of the night. Here is Josh Cole. Tough break for the driver, the number 24.
Yeah, we saw Little getting into some trouble in the 1. He started faded towards the back. The 24 Cole, I think, thought he had him cleared, and he'll come across the nose a little, but unfortunately Cole will hook it to the right and flip up on his roof going into 3.
Take a look here from the RS button box. Came up the racetrack and just contact. A little bit more damage to the 55 of Little, but the 24 ends up on his lid. Let's go in car and see it from inside the number 24, the Johnson chassis. They got real quiet, real fast, real quick there down the backstretch. You see the sparks flying, and well, thank God for the 5-point harness holding them into that seat, keeping them safe, but tough break for the 24 as we come back live now. Kyle Morris and Jeremy Little in pit road. Little coming down, pulling out some of that damage. He's got damage on both sides of the Ryco ePerformance RS button box, number 55. So Little out coming off a pit road, but how much is that damage going to affect him here at what is a very fast Lucas Oil Raceway Park?
Yeah, anytime you get a little aero damage, especially on the right front, it really affects these cars, and they don't take well to suspension damage either. You get a little bit of toe knocked in or out, you get a little bit of camber screwed up on the right front, and it's going to make a long afternoon for you. So you're going to see these guys that have gotten into incidents earlier just coming down to pit road, trying to get that thing patched up a little bit at a time.
Want to send out a shout out to a couple of our fans checking in here tonight. Want to shout out to Mackenzie, who's number 51, a Pete Polini fan out there. So Mackenzie, Pete is earning in that third spot so far in this event, just 20 laps in, so not even to the first 1/3 mark of this race. So he's doing a great job. And our friend Big Kevin Walker out there, want to send out a big shout out to Kevin, just getting into iRacing and checking in with us here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And well, he's enjoying a great show here tonight for the Big Ten Super Series, and it is brought to you by RS Button Box. You are in the need for some button box? Look them up on Facebook at RS Button Boxes. They are the premier title sponsor for the Big Ten Super Series, and tell them that the Big Ten Super Series sent you their way. Also want to thank Karma Salon Day and Spa. I know so many of you got up there and got your fingers and your toes all said and done up there at the Salon and Day Spa today, so you're looking mighty nice with that luscious beard that you have next door to me here at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park. And we got Johnson Chassis. If you're in the market for a GM Matrix Racing chassis, Johnson Chassis Inc. is your one place stop. And we also got to thank tonight's presenting sponsor, the Ryco ePerformance, with you from pit road to victory lane. Well, the pit coming off of this now, coming back into tonight's main event, the 72 of Ryan Cohn is going to bring us to the green flag here for our restart here as they come off a turn number 4.
And Kuhn will jump on the loud pedal first, leading Edwards about a car length back as he heads down into turn number 1. Kuhn easily grabbing the lead, but the 51 of Pete Polini now running to the inside of that 24 Hazlitt. They're staying door to door as they come off a 2. Behind them, a little bit of shake-up. We got Keatman. Keatman charging his way on the outside now, trying to make his presence known as the 51 still does battle here with the 24 of or the 27 of Hazlitt. That's the first 2 wide battle. Pete Polini trying to charge hard going into 1. Taking a look to the inside, but just can't quite clear that 27 of Hazlitt. Keatman settled in now. He's got the catbird seat, looking to see if he can go high or low, trying to find the fastest car to follow. But right now it's Hazlitt shoving the nose ahead, but then Pete Polini charges back in, coming on a 4.
Yeah, Polini really working the bottom of the racetrack. You see him get a little bit loose there. We'll lose about a half a car to Hazlitt's on edge number 27 as they enter into turn number 1. But that inside line, pretty impressive right so far. With Polini working the inside. We're going to have to start calling him maybe the catfish here, as I'm getting a little bit inside scoop in the YouTube chat here, Justin, that he likes to run the inside. So maybe Pete the catfish Polini really working down to the inside underneath Hazlitt, trying to fight him off here for that 3rd spot. As he does so, the 54 of Keatman really starting to roll back forward. He's up 3 spots from his 8th starting spot. So right now, Polini going to maybe have to give way to this number 27 of Hazlitt slide up so he doesn't lose more spots off turn number 4.
Yeah, Polini really made that bottom work, but the problem with the bottom on a topside dominant track, you can wear the right front off of that car, and this early on, probably just going to try to save it for later, but they've got reeled in by Keatman and also Zacharias. Keep an eye on that 71. He's been charging hard to the front on these restarts, and he's been pretty fast and competitive as he works his way right now in the 6th place position, just outside the top 5. Polini taking another look now to the inside of the 27 as he gets a real tough line going into 1, which will give the run to Keatman as they head down the backstretch.
Yeah, Polini going to work down the backstretch. We go on board with him as he works the outside, kissing the concrete there. You saw the sparks right there off the front end of the 54 at Keatman. You see how wide this racetrack is. Multiple grooves of racing as they come through the front stretch. A little bit of a bumpy ride down here in the turn number 1. Polini doing a really good job here as we look out the front as he looks to chase down the number 27 of Hazlitt as we go right on board with the Carmen Salon and Day Spa onboard camera. And now we come back to the high side here as you see Kuhn has stretched out his lead to 1.4 over Edwards. Hazlitt, Polini, and Keatman, your top 5 as we work lap number 30. 6th spot is Zacharias, you alluded to, and then right behind him is the 33 of Thomas Bennett. The 37S of Shattuck, Weatherby, and Ken Zeems rounds out your top 10 so far early on in this feature event.
Yeah, right now we're going to get a battle towards the 2nd place position now. Justin Hazlitt really making ground on the 72 of Bladen Edwards. He really gets a strong run going into 3. He's just trying to find his way around that 72 car of Bladen Edwards. Right now, I mean, they just probably run at a different pace from each other, but they're watching that 72 of Kuhn as he marches away up front. These drivers thinking they got something for him. They're going to want to try to work their way to the front as quick as possible without hurting those tires. But right now, Bladen Edwards still hanging on to that 2nd place position as Hazlitt looks to the inside of him. Not much to do there. He's just probably going to try to work over Edwards, trying to wear him out, get him to overdrive a corner a little bit. That way he can get a preferred line on him and get around. Maybe try to run down that 72 of Kuhn.
Yeah, a couple different things on the agenda probably with this between the spotter and the driver, that number 27 of Hazlitt, knowing that if a yellow flag were to fly right now, you'd have to restart on the inside line. So you kind of don't really, you can't use the tires up too bad right now, but also if you could get to the outside or get into that number 2 position, you'd have that outside starting spot. We see how important that outside is if you are not the race leader who controls the restart when you get into that restart zone off of turn number 4. So right now there's a couple battles going on, but Polini able to start moving in on this battle. Those are a 4-car battle. Then you got about 5-6 car lengths back to the 71 of Zacharias. We got a side-by-side battle back here as Nicholas Weatherby has got underneath the 37S of Shattuck, and that is the battle for 10th.
Yeah, as they work their way into turn number 1, we've got the 37 of Shattuck. He's working to the outside of Weatherby. Shattuck with a good run off of 2, but Weatherby will get a car length on him going in. Shattuck, though, hard into the outside of 3. He's trying to work on the outside of this 23 Camping World entry of Weatherby. Right behind them, though, you've got the 12. He's trying to look his way to the outside. The 112, actually, nope, that is the 12. As he's looking to the inside of Shattuck. Shattuck washes up, gets a run, though, down the backstretch of the 23 of Weatherby. He should be able to clear him as they head down into turn 3. He gets the job done. And now we're looking 3 wide off of 4. Right through the middle of these two is going to be the Hayden Devon Cobb entry, the 112. He passes Shattuck and Weatherby as they headed into 1.
And that'll catapult him inside the top 12 as they work off of turn number 2 and down the back stretch in what is becoming a very hotly contested spot there. We got now Bennett. We move a little bit forward in front of that battle. Thomas Bennett trying to work underneath the 71 of Zacharias. He has gotten by the 90 of Ken Zeems. Zeems now trying to put the pressure to the 33 as well. So Zacharias, who is moving up through the field quite nicely, is now starting to lose touch with the top 5 as he rides in that 6th position. Bennett going to take a bid down to the inside off of turn number 4.
Yeah, Bennett keeps sticking that nose down, trying to find a way around the 71 of Zacharias. Zacharias just kind of fell into a pace that was not quite to the liking of 33 of Bennett. He plays him tight off of turn 2. Bennett has to roll out of it to keep from getting into the door. Zacharias, the 90 of Zeem sitting back watching this whole thing happen. He's going to try to take a look on the inside of Bennett. Nothing doing there as they head off of 4, but Bennett is really trying to find a way around the 71 of Zacharias.
Yeah, great battle back here for that 6th spot as Bennett, you see him roll the middle of the corner a little bit better. Contact, and Zacharias is going to go around off of turn number 4. Or 2, yellow flag comes out as he went around. Virtue of the chrome horn of the 33 of Bennett. Incidental contact in turns 1 and 2 has sent the 71 of Zacharias around, and he will get the car pointed back in the right direction with the Signworks Mid-State Basement. Number 71 working here on the front stretch. So a tough break here for the driver out of Western New York, the 71 of Zacharias.
Yeah, an absolute shame. Those two drivers are having a good battle back and forth. But it looks like the 71 kind of washed up the track getting into 1, trying to get that cut down lane as they headed through 2. And unfortunately, Bennett and Zacharias just kind of met in the middle exiting 2.
Yeah, they look at the RS button box or drone cam. Just one driver coming down, going up, and around it will go. Lucky no one else was able to piled into the 71. That's a very fast part of the racetrack. Everybody hard in the throttle. Off of turn number 2 for Zacharias to get pointed back in the right direction. Let's take one more look at it. Great camera work from our guys out in the field here tonight down in turn number 1. Zacharias goes around and he will get it pointed back into the right direction. No harm, no foul, but Zacharias can lose a ton of track position as we come back live. He stays out on the racetrack. Going to keep those tires as Matt Zaccardo comes down pit road, and the 24 of Josh Cole going to bring his number 24 down pit road as well.
We've got Thomas Bennett now taking a stop on the inside of turn 4. Maybe he's taking responsibility or just got sent to the rear from race control. Oh, and the 33 of Bennett is not happy about the call. Does a massive burnout down the front stretch. 2 fast cars are going to have to work their way from the back to the front.
Yeah, you're going to put them back there, and it's still a long ways to go here. Working lap 42 of 125, so not the ideal call. About 84 laps left to go in this 125 lap affair for the Rayco E-Performance 125 here tonight. Now Bennett's going to come down pit road. Might take those tires that we alluded to that they had on pit road here tonight. So we'll see what Bennett will do on pit road. But that erased a big gap that Ryan Kuhn had, and Kuhn having a great show so far up at the front of this one. Set the fast time to Rayco E-Performance fast time here tonight. Wins a super late model setup for the official races courtesy of Rayco E-Performance products. And if you need to get a setup to get fast, you want to look at RaycoEperformance.com. They get you set up here. They're with you, Justin, from pit road to victory lane, and that is where Ryan Kuhn wants to go here tonight, is to be back in victory lane and start the season off undefeated.
Yeah, Ryko E-Performance, they do a great job with these setups here, not only on the asphalt side, but on the dirt side as well. So if you're taking a listen to this, watching online, go hit up Ryko Performance for those setups. They do make some really strong competitive stuff. But we've got the 12 of Jared Jackson stopped on the backstretch now. A little bit of interesting predicament here.
Maybe something going right on the number 12 of Jared Jackson. He waits for the field to roll by. Let's see, the lights are back on. Oh, they're not. So Jackson, the field going to roll by him as we're going to go back green flag racing this time off of turn number 4. They're going to wave it off. Lights coming back on. You see the field waving it off there. The driver's letting the other drivers know we are not going to go this time as the lights come back on. So a problem for the 12. He gets it pointed in the right direction, but problem for that number 12.
Yeah, a little bit of a difficulty there as far as lineup goes. Race control not liking where they were seeing. We had to get the 12 line back up, so hopefully we can get this tightened back up here, try to get this back underway. It'll be real interesting to see, okay, Bladen Edwards seen a few restarts on the 72. Maybe he found a read for him. He can pick up on something so he can get a jump onto Kuhn as they head into one with Kuhn on the inside.
Yeah, it's tough when the leader has control of the start. He has to fire first, so you kind of got to be guessing for it, but can't over jump that restart. As they come off of turn number 4, we are going to see them get on the loud pedal once again, and Kuhn's going to jump on it. A little bit better of a restart for the 72X of Edwards as he will hold it down in the turn number 1. On the outside, Polini going to get a run. Here comes Polini working the outside of the racetrack. He's going to get Hazlitt to his inside down here in the turn number 3. It'll be Polini working the outside of the Lucas Oil Raceway Park here as he will come off challenging for that 4th spot. Polini going to be dead even in the turn number 1.
Yeah, on that restart, we saw the 88 of Caden Tufts make contact with the backstretch wall for the second restart in a row, but he gets it collected back up behind the 90 of Zeems. But the battle for third right now is going to be, you've got the 27 working to the inside of Hazlitt. Pete Polini switches lanes. He's on the outside. Going to give it a go. A little bit of free off of 4, but he's got it gathered back up, heads down the front stretch, runs a real conservative line into 1. He really wants to hold on to that 3rd place position. Hazlitt going to tuck it right back into 4th. And then behind them, you've got a battle looking as Keatman tried to look to the inside of Hazlitt. Not much to do there, so he's just going to kind of ride around a little bit. These drivers now just trying to feel each other out as we cross the line now. 50 laps on the board. 75 remaining in this 125 lap race.
Yeah, and everybody getting single file there. You're rounding out your top 10. Tyler Shattuck, he's been in the wall. He's been loose. He's been there. He's getting that 37S all shake down here. Is now Jared Jackson has an issue down, and he is in the pit road, so something going awry. As we see a battle shaping up back here. Brad Carpenter in that 31, a wily old veteran of the short track ranks. He works there with a number 4 of Grant. As he works off there. That is the battle for the 11th spot. Kyle Moore and Curtis Critchley doing battle. Critchley starting to make his move towards the front. Remember, he took 4 tires early on in this event, and he is starting to make his way to the front up 9 spots. And so far, that is the Karma Salon and Day Spa Hard Charger. And that's worth $5 in your pocket here tonight if you are the Hard Charger. And right now, Critchley has that by 2 positions over Devin Cobb, who runs in the 8th position.
Yeah, working right behind Critchley, the 71 is Zacharias, wasting no time now, trying to get back up through the field. We saw the 55 a little get himself into a little bit of trouble, but right now everyone working single file, trying to figure out a way to get back towards the front with that 71 of Zacharias. He is a fast car, and he's going to try to get back up there. He's got plenty of time to do it, though, so he's going to have to be smart. I'd tack right onto the back of Critchley. Critchley, I think he's started towards the back both weeks now, just so he could get that $5 hard charger bonus. He has been fun to watch now for the 2nd week in a row as he works his way to the front.
Yeah, doing a great job here as they work down in the turn number 2, and they work down the backstretch. Critchley getting a run on the 4 of Grant now, as that will be the battle for the 12th position, but up front, it is still the number 72 of Coons. As Critchley now dives to the inside of the 4 of Grant. You worry about using up the tires in this event here. If you know you've already taken the tires that are allotted in the pits, and that's what you got to be on Are you worried about using them up? Or to get to the front here, now Zacharias going to bid to the inside as well, trying to work around the number 4 of Grant as the side-by-side battle back here for the 12th position. And it'll go to Critchley. Will try to make that work. Still working the bottom of the racetrack. Zacharias doesn't know which lane to pick right now as they all race down the backstretch.
Zacharias pulls to the backside of the 4. Grant Thomas gives him a little bit of a bump, tries to get him that outside line working, but they're still side by side, door handle. Critchley a little bit loose off of 4. That'll give the outside run to Grant Thomas, and that 71 is Zacharias. All 3 of these drivers not sure what to do with each other. Obviously, Critchley thinks he's a little bit faster than Grant Thomas, and Zacharias, he feels like he's faster than both of them. That's the trouble when you're trying to conserve tires. You'll want to get ahead of the cars that are slower than you so you can run your own conservative pace and make a charge to the front. But you can tell Critchley might have started getting them tires hot. Zacharias takes a big run now going into 1. He'll slide up into the 4 of Thomas. They almost make contact. He'll pinch it off down to the bottom as they head down the backstretch going into 3. This battle is the toughest one on the track currently.
Yeah, Zacharias now going to take a look to the inside. Washes up again, almost makes contact with the number 4 of Grant. Grant's going to get turned sideways. Contact. Zacharias changed it, but big trouble down in the front stretch as Curtis Critchley goes around on the front stretch in hard contact with the 27C. So he pulls up onto the racetrack. Yellow flag, number 4 coming out here on lap number 59. We saw that coming, Smitty, as they were racing really hard, giving each other the bumper. You saw how loose it made the 4 of Grant. Let's take a look back here in the Turn 3 Racing Network replay to find out what happened to Critchley.
Yeah, these drivers were a couple different speeds going on. The 4 of Grant Thomas, I feel like, was trying his hardest to stay in front of this group, and it looks like he was overdriving it more and more as they went. Unfortunately, the 4 got a little loose off of 4 trying to push it, and then Critchley gets contact from the 33 down the front stretch.
Yeah, taking a look from the blip cam that last time, you saw the 4 just get loose, and he almost hooked the 71 of Zacharias. Somehow Zacharias saved it. Critchley led out of it, but had Bennett in his back pocket. And, well, around will go the Maconie setup shop, number 27C of Critchley, and that'll send him pit side. Well, he stays out on the racetrack, so maybe not too much damage, but he made hard contact with the inside concrete barrier.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Critchley. He was an innocent bystander in the whole deal. Rolled out of it, tried to get to the bottom, but unfortunately Bennett had the nose there and didn't quite give him the room or had time to. And it looks like Critchley now looking to the inside. He is going to head down pit road. I would assume there's substantial damage on that car after that hard contact to the inside wall.
Yeah, and a number of our front runners coming down pit road. Grant Thomas came down pit road. Tyler Shannon, Ken Zeems, Kyle Moore, all coming down pit road. Talking about some of the drivers that came down pit road and had to fix a little bit of damage. The number 12 of Jeremy Little. He is currently up into the 12th spot. He's making his way back towards the front. One spot in front of him will be the number 33 of Thomas Bennett. So these drivers are making the best out of a tough situation as they make their way back towards the front half of this field.
Yeah, you've got some strategies going on. Some of them drivers thinking, okay, well, I'm kind of mid towards the rear. Maybe I should come in and grab some tires. And then you've got the handful of drivers that are just trying to fix that damage that they've got early on. Try to get a good, strong run in towards the end here. I mean, we've still got plenty of time left. So these different strategies, it'll be real interesting to see how it plays out in the end. I know that the Critchley made hard contact to the inside wall. He kind of done the same thing last week and still managed to charge his way back up. So it's going to be a lot of fun watching some of these drivers work their way up through.
Yeah, they're doing a great job so far. Critchley's still down on pit road, assuming some heavy front end, maybe some engine damage with how hard he hit the inside wall. So a tough break for the driver who is in the seat to pick up the Karma Salon and Day Spa hard charger. Now he will roll, but down one lap in arrears to your race leaders as he rolls down pit road. But not out of it yet. You can't, never out of it until the fat lady sings, or, well, you put it on the hauler early, prematurely at the end of the race. So Critchley will get back out there, and I believe just one lap down, if not maybe on the lead lap. Hard to tell right now until timing and scoring will get caught up. But your race leader is Ryan Kuhn. Outside of him will be Bladen Edwards. That was your front row from the drop of the green flag. Now it's the catfish of Pete Polini going to start on the inside of row number 2. Outside of will be Hazlitt. And then it is the 54 of Keatman and the number 88 of Caden Tufts on the row number 3. Green flag is back up. They are into the restart zone, and Ryan Kuhn ready to go. He mashes the gas, and Hazlitt going to kiss the outside wall. That might allow Polini to slip up in front of him, but Hazlitt going to charge back on the outside off of turn number 2.
Yeah, Keatman was looking to follow Polini around Hazlitt, but Hazlitt gets it gathered up, gets that big run from the outside as they headed down the backstretch. Right now, though, the 88, he's going to be looking his way to the outside as they head down the front stretch. Caden Tufts has always been one of the front runners here from what we've seen so far from this Big Ten Super Series. He's working the outside of Pete Polini now. So Caden Tufts with a big charge on the outside. Weatherby looking to do the same as Weatherby looked to the outside of Keatman. And just behind them, that 71 of Garrett Zacharias knocking his way into the top 10 again.
And we'll watch out the backside of the number 88 of Tufts. He has gotten around Polini. Polini going to take a look down to the inside of that Ford Mustang. Nothing doing that time through turns 1 and 2. As they roar down the backstretch is Zacharias starting to put pressure on the 112 of Devin Cobb. So Zacharias now inside. There's now one car dropping to the back. That would be the 33 of Bennett. And Bennett is in the grass in turn number 3. So Bennett's night getting even worse here as the 5th yellow flag will come out for the 33 of Bennett as they look like they all got stacked up there. Let's take a look back and see what happened to the number 33 of Thomas Bennett.
Yeah, they worked their way off at turn 2 here. We got Bennett in the middle. Just kind of squeezed his way up towards the top there. Really didn't give him any room, wasn't quite clear. And the 31 caught him. The 33 just couldn't quite get it gathered up as they headed into 3, and around he went.
And watch it from the R's button box shot off of turn number 2 here. You see the 33 of Bennett come up and just ran out of real estate. The 31 of Carpenter up against the outside wall. Couldn't go any higher. And around will go the 33 of Bennett. Hard right front contact to the outside concrete barrier. And we alluded to it earlier, Justin, about how sensitive these cars are as Bennett's down on pit road, changing right side Hoosiers on that number 33. Now they're working around to the left side. Going to work on that right front, it looks like, as they come back around to see if they can fix some of the damage on the number 33. The good news for him is the pace laps here at Lucas Oil a little bit longer with the sheer size of this racetrack, as the field will come under the yellow flag now as we have reached almost, well, we are past the halfway mark. I was going to say we're almost at the halfway mark. We are past the halfway mark.
Well, some of our front runners choosing to come down pit road. The 51 of Pete Polini, he came down to the pit road. The 112 of Hayden Cobb, he also came down pit road. The 31 of Brad Carpenter, after that contact, he also came down pit road. So a lot of strategy going on here. Really surprised to see Polini take a run in. Maybe he used him up early running that bottom. Who knows? But he found that he needed to come down to pit road, and he got service, and he's backing out on the speedway.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to happen, but now Polini going to have to start deep in this one. If you are Ryan Kuhn or one of the top 3, top 4 drivers, Justin, do you feel like you should come down pit road? We're seeing how difficult it is to pass here at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park as they work underneath our 5th yellow flag of the evening. We do know that these drivers have a lot of experience in these super late models, but if you're a Ryan Kuhn or Bladen Edwards, do you relinquish your top spots here in hopes of coming back through the field, especially now that you know that over half the field has come in at least once to take either fuel or tires here tonight? Do you think you just kind of lay in the bed that you have made if you're Ryan Kuhn?
Yeah, that's a real tough call because the 72 of Ryan Kuhn has been real strong. I feel like the more calm that he runs, the easier he runs, the faster he gets. So, I mean, he could be still having a good substantial amount of tire left in that car. The other thing that you'll notice is some of them guys coming in, they'll take a little bit of fuel too, try to put a little extra weight in the rear of that car, try to get it snugged back up. That way it takes a little bit of the loose and greasiness out of it. But it's a real tough call, especially if you're in the front row. If I was a 72 Akun or Bladen Edwards, I'd probably try to ride this one out for at least another restart or two and see how things feel, but I'd stick it out and try to make it to the end.
Pace car down and away there as we have our resident super late model driver explaining what he would do as we get ready to go green flag racing, and this time off turn number 4. Kuhn and Edwards showing the way. Kuhn kind of laying back now. Will jump on the gas pedal, and that's going to be a nice restart for the Bernie's Liquor number 72. You see him a little bit sideways there in the turn number 1. Look, a little bit of tire spin. Now a great battle for your number 2 spot as Edwards works the outside. And here comes Tufts. Tufts going to look very tough on the outside in the turn number 3.
Yeah, Caden Tufts gets a real good run on that outside on these restarts. Trouble going through 3 and 4. Curtis Critchley going around and collects a couple with him.
Curtis Critchley around in turn number 3. And it looks like he may have caught up to 24 of Josh Cole as well, as yellow flag number 6 comes out here tonight at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park. Let's take a look and see what happened to Critchley to get him out of shape in turn number 3.
Yeah, these restarts always a little tricky here, especially with the top line being dominant. But you saw the 41 of Ercolani kind of gets in the outside wall, checks up a little bit. That stacks up the 90. The 90 gets back into him. And then when Critchley let off, the 112, Caden got into him, sends Critchley around, and the 24 was an innocent bystander at the back.
Yeah, one of those instances where yellows breed yellow flags as everybody comes down pit road, as Ercolani and that number 41 going to be down on pit road as well. And while they take attention to the number 41, we're going to step away for a moment. You're watching the Big Ten Super Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back to the Lucas Oil Raceway Park, where we are watching the Big Ten Super Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And it is brought to you by RS Button Boxes, Karma Soleil and Day Spa, Johnson Chassis Incorporated, and ReicoEPerformance.com. Well, Smitty, we're back here at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park. The yellow lights are out on the Ford Mustang pace car. That means we're going to go back to green flag racing here. We were just talking underneath that yellow flag in the commercial break that we are seeing the difference between fresh tires and older tires, and maybe that was sort of some of the caution there in the turn number 3, just the difference in speed. Ryan Kuhn going to restart on the front. This one single file restart, 0 laps completed, and when car contact is the reason for a yellow flag on a restart, the Big Ten Super Series will go single file, and we are back underway. Kuhn going to jump on the gas pedal as they work down here in the turn number 1.
Kuhn with a big jump over that 72X of Edwards. Everybody single file working their way through it. You've still got that 27 there working his way behind the 72 of Edwards. That's Hazlitt. He's settled in this third spot. He's been in this third spot, and he's just kind of content with riding there. Probably trying to pick some notes up on Edwards, looking for a way to get around him here as we head into the later stages of this race. But like you touched on earlier, what we're seeing, there's a big difference right now between the guys that took tires and the guys that didn't. You've got guys that are meeting in the middle. You got guys falling off, and you've got guys that are coming up through. So this is going to get real interesting here as we head down. We've got, 80 laps on the board, so it's going to be a real good show.
Yeah, and one of those drivers that coming back through the field after taking tires is the 51 of Polini. He is all the way back into the 11th spot as yellow flag will come out once again. And it looks like the 31 of Brad Carpenter might have gone around in the spin cycle. And the Bob's Pet in pond number 31 entry for Carpenter. Let's take a look and see what happened to the number 31.
Yeah, the 31 there working his way off of 4. Just running that middle line, and it came out from underneath him. The tricky part about this is he could have been one of them cars that did take a set of tires. And when you do that, these tires are a little bit cool on the restarts, and you'll end up pointing the wrong way in a hurry.
Yeah, locking it down, able to keep it off the inside wall there, but hurting those tires if they are fresh. As Nicholas Weatherby's going to come down pit road as we come back live. So the driver of the number 23 leaving a spot inside the top 10 to come down pit road in his number 23. Another driver also coming down pit road, Matt Zaccardo. He was inside the top 10 as well as Weatherby overshoots his pit, and he will have to come back up there. So that's going to cost a little bit of time here. But those two drivers on pit road, the 60 of Zaccardo on pit road as well. As we go on board with him, let's watch the crew do their job. And left side, so a 4-tire stop for the number 60 of Zaccardo. He'll be down and away.
Yeah, Zaccardo, a driver we really haven't talked about, has run a very conservative race, has been in the right spots at the right time, and has had a strong run going, but it looks like he's going to try to make a charge toward the front here as we head towards the tail end of this race.
And a very nice looking number 60 automobile there. A very sharp looking paint job on that number 60 as he rolls off there. I want to take and touch on there. I was under the assumption that Zacharias had come down pit road, but according to our pit reporters down there roaming the pit area, Zacharias has not come down pit road yet, and he has found his way back to the 6th position. The driver out of New York looking to get inside the top 3 here once again. Last week rounded out in the podium position in that number 71. See him weaving there, cleaning the tires off. And you might be wondering why you do that. Well, this track has marbles that will pick up, and you get those on your tires, and it will definitely send you for a ride or push you into the outside wall if you're not careful. As Ryan Kuhn still leads this one, has led it since the green flag has dropped. As we work lap 85. Next time by will be 40 laps to go. So a good Saturday night shootout coming at you on a Sunday night here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And if it's your first time watching here on the YouTube side, hit that subscribe button for us, and it'll let you know every time the Big Ten Super Series is racing on a Sunday night. Next Sunday they are off for Mother's Day, so we want to wish an early happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. So next Sunday we will not be on there, but we get right back to it May 16th down at the New Smyrna Speedway for the Sunshine 150 at the New Smyrna Speedway. So that'll be in 2 weeks time, so it'll be have a break here. If you also hit that subscribe button, we have racing here, Justin, every night of the week, sometimes multiple races on every day of the week, all the way from the short tracks to the dirt tracks to the high banks of Daytona and every point in between. Road course racing, we have it all here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We are your number one stop for everything sim racing, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and maybe find yourself a new league to follow as well with these Sunday night super late model leagues here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. The cars pacing down in the turn number 3 and 4, ready to go, green flag, double file restart coming at you.
And as we've seen so far all afternoon, it's the 72 of Kuhn, it's the 72X of Edwards, and then just behind them, Hazlitt on the inside. Kuhn jumps on the loud pedal, gets that start as they head down into turn number 1. But the battle for third is heating up as the 27 of Hazlitt looks to the inside of the 72X of Edwards. Caden Tufts working that outside on that restart. That's where he's been picking all these spots up every restart on that outside line. And behind him is the 71 of Garrett Zacharias. Zacharias now working his way in the top 5. He's trying to find a way around the 27 Hazlitt as they head into 1.
Everybody jostling for a position is now Zacharias move into that 5th spot. He's going to try to cross him over off the corner, but it'll be Hazlitt back to 4th, and now Tufts into that 3rd spot as they try to chase down the 72 of Ryan Kuhn. Kuhn running that middle to low line off of the corner right now early on. We got them stacked up 2x2 back here with Ken Zimes working underneath the 37S of Shattuck into the corner. Oh, one car up into the outside wall. That's the 4 of Grant. Everybody doing a great job getting by him, but a tough break for the driver of the number 4 as he falls all the way back to the 21st position as they work down the backstretch. But everybody keeping it clean and green as they still battle side by side. The 23 of Weatherby. He took tires underneath that last yellow flag. He works underneath the 112 of Gone Cobb here down in the corner. Another car up in the outside wall. That was the 60 of Zaccardo. Just got in her wheel hopped it, Justin, and that is easy to do on fresh tires.
Yeah, 60 of Zaccardo just got in a little bit too hard, a little bit too heavy. Kicked over to the right rear and ended up into the wall, but he gets it back settled in now as he's trying to find his way back up towards the front. But we've got that 23 of Weatherby. He's also working his way back up through. Those drivers just came in on that last stop. We got 37 of Shattuck into the backstretch wall. He gets it up on 2 wheels. Critchley down to the inside. He makes his way by. Then the 112 is working his way down to the 94 of Morse as they head off of 4. This race is really starting to shake up now.
Everybody jostling for position is now the 11 of Cody Verrill has gone around on the front stretch. And that beautifully prepared number 11. And it looks like a little bit of right front damage on the number 11 as the yellow flag will come out here as we were watching Critchley back on the lead lap there. Never say never, Justin. We thought maybe his night would be done after that hard contact to the inside retaining wall. He is now the hard charger up 11 spots after starting 22nd. He currently resides in that 11th spot. Let's take a look and see what happened to the number 11 of Cody Verrill.
Yeah, it looks like Verrill worked his way into 3. Got a good run there, and then all of a sudden it just started coming out from underneath him as he went between 3 and 4. You really got a feather on the gas here as the track takes temperature. The tires get wore out, and he just couldn't quite save it. But he went around off of 4. We heard him in practice complaining a little bit, saying the car was a little free, the track was a little slick, and you can see he still hasn't just quite got the handle on the 11 car here this afternoon.
Coming down pit road right now is Keatman and Zacharias, so 2 drivers that were inside the top 5. Down here on pit road is the number 71 of Zacharias. You see him taking to the right side tires. Our crew working a great job down on pit road as you get a close-up look of that Oswego Transport. I believe that's the Oswego Transport on the hood of that one. It could be wrong. Signworks Mid-State Basement Solutions number 71 will roll down off of pit road. So he's going to take his 4 tires. So a lot of tire strategy. That will leave 4 cars out on the racetrack. And can you guess which ones have not come down pit road as of yet?
Yeah, that top 4 hanging with the strategy. The one thing we've noticed is that the 72 of Kuhn shutting that car off in the corners, clutching the car in, letting it coast. I don't know what's going on there if he's trying to conserve fuel. I don't really know how tight these guys are on fuel here, but he's setting in for the long haul. He's going to try to ride this one out all the way to the end.
Okay, watch the driver working here as you hear. The engine is silent currently on the number 72 of Ryan Kuhn. So we did see him, pull up alongside the pace car, and then he kind of coasted, maybe just clutching it. And I believe Bladen Edwards is doing that as well. So maybe fuel is going to come into play here tonight at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park as we work into the later stages. Let's take a look at the current track temperature. When we started, it was 106 degrees. Track temperature now, Justin, 92. What does that mean? The grip level coming up.
Yeah, which is a good thing because as these tires are falling off, they're going to be searching for all kinds of grip. The track taking rubber too, so that'll help these guys out as they work to the end stages of this race. But the pit strategy has been very interesting. You look at it right now, we're at lap 96, so you figure with about 34 laps to go. This is about like a regular Saturday night short track event. So if there's about 20 cars on the lead lap and you think you can go to 20th to first on your regular Saturday night short track event, well, maybe that's the strategy you take.
You take a look on the screen right now there, you see the pit strategy where Kuhn, Edwards, Tufts, and Hazlitt have had 95 laps on their tires. Polini, your highest driver up there, with 28 tires fresh, or 28 lap fresher tires. He's right behind the 55 of Little, who came back in on lap 18 and took tires. So Little up inside the top 5 now with tires, but the freshest tires on the track in the top 8 is Bennett with that took tires 26 laps ago. So these drivers all going to have a little bit of strategy being played, but those 4 cars up front have fresh tires. They roll through turns 1 and 2 into the restart zone. We're going to go back green flag racing this time off of turn number 4.
Another battle of the 72s as they head off of 4. The 72 on the outside, low at Edwards, a little bit of tire spin as he came off the corner. That'll open up the bottom to the 88 of Caden Tufts. The driver out of Canada looking to the inside of the 72 of Edwards. The 72X of Edwards will have the run off the backstretch. Meanwhile, while this is going on, that 72 of Kuhn out front charges by another car length or two as they're racing. Caution coming out, the 60 going up and over in between turns 3 and 4, and Critchley's in trouble.
Critchley in trouble again as well, but 60 of Devon Cobb going to stick the landing, and the Russian judge gives him a 4.5. I thought that was a little bit low there, but a tough break by the 60 of Devon Cobb. Going to roll in, bring out the yellow flag here in lap number 98 here. Josh Cole also involved. Big melee down in turn number 3. Let's take a look what happened.
Al, it looks like we've got 3 separate wrecks in 3 different spots, with Zaccardo ending up on his roof, Critchley ending up on his roof, and Cole ending up on his door as they headed into 3. We got mayhem all over the place in 3 and 4.
Yeah, we just watched Josh Cole. He led off for the wreck in front of him, and the 11 of Verrill had nowhere to go into the back bumper. Let's take a look back and see what happened now to the 60 of the 60 of Zaccardo. Oh, contact between himself and it looks like possibly the number 31 automobile. Slight contact. That sent the 60 up the track and up and over once, twice, and that was a tough ride for the driver of that number 60. Matt Zaccardo went for a ride. How about Aiden David Cobb as well? The 112 dives it down low underneath the 23. Oh, he got into the back side of the 23 of Critchley. Critchley overcorrects and up in the racetrack. Both of them will make contact hard, and Critchley is going to have to take the tow as well as he ends up on his lid. So Justin, a lot of melee right there. Oh my Lanta, that was not good.
Yeah, we're down to business here. We got 101 laps on the board, 24 laps remaining. Drivers are going to be moving and shaking. It's going to be really interesting. And as we can hear on the scanners right now, Kuhn is talking fuel strategy, and they're trying to figure out if these guys up front will have enough fuel to finish it.
We'll talk about the hard chargers. It's the number 4 of Grant Thomas. Will get the lucky dog, the RS Button Box free pass here as he pushes the button for the free pass around here. So he'll get back on the lead lap. But how about this driver? Pete Polini came down on pit road. He is now in the 5th spot. He is the first driver with fresh tires up on the front of this one. And I believe, if I'm being told right from our pit reporters down there on the pit road, he has enough fuel in that Ford Mustang to go the distance. So that might be one of those things where if we get a long green flag run to end this feature, the Rayco ePerformance 125, with just 24 laps to go, Polini could be right into the right seat, in the catbird seat is what I'm trying to say. I'll spit it out eventually.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be very interesting here as we work to the end of this. A lot of caution laps, though, so that's going to help as far as conserving fuel. Getting the call from race control. This restart will be single file. We did not get a lap in, so that'll make things a little more interesting now as drivers are going to start to take a little bit more of a chance now being single file.
And we just saw on that picture there, you saw the marbles in between the racing groove and the wall. It's very, very slim. So if you overshoot that entry into the corner, that's going to get you into the outside wall. And we've seen how much that really factors in there. Now everybody gets jointed up here in between 3 and 4. Green flag going to come out with just 22 laps to go. Kuhn with a great jump down the front stretch. We'll see what happens in the turn number 1.
Yeah, Kuhn with a great jump, but through the middle there, we had one that didn't fire. That created a melee in 3 and 4. Trouble all over.
Parking lot down in turn number 4. It looks like Brad Carpenter was involved in that one as well. So the quick yellow flag coming back out. And that could be a godsend for the 4 drivers up at the front of this one, where they need to save as much fuel as possible. And you don't burn as much fuel underneath these yellow flag laps as you would underneath the green flag.
Yeah, especially with these guys clutching it and shutting it down. That'll help with them conserving fuel. But it was a very interesting restart. There was a little bit of a brake check in 3 and 4, and that created the whole melee down towards the back.
Yeah, it looked like in front of them, everybody started to check up there and got into the back there. Bumper tag roulette down into turn number 3 it was. And the 31 of Brad Carpenter getting turned off the nose. I believe that was the 94 of Kyle Morse. Morse had nowhere to go. Just expected everybody to start rolling up through the gearboxes, and that was not the case. And the Bob's Pet number 31 goes around in the turn number 3, and a quick yellow flag back out here with just 20 laps to go as we come back live underneath the yellow flag. With Ryan Kuhn still showing the way. He's led every lap since the green flag is dropped. That seems like a common theme after last week's opening race of the Johnson Chassis 150. Kuhn led every lap at the Myrtle Beach Speedway, and he is looking to do that again here in race number 2 for the Big Ten Super Series.
Yeah, that last restart was real interesting. What you saw was the 72X of Bladen Edwards. He really hung back real far going into 3. Was probably going to try to get a good run on the 72 of Kuhn. Figured it was going to be one of the last shots he had at it. Unfortunately, that back toughs up, and that back toughs up to the 27 of Hazlitt, and then before you know it, 5-6 cars back, we got one around. And it's real interesting with these single file starts. Sometimes they create more mayhem than the 2-wide starts, Al?
Yeah, it definitely will be. Everybody trying to time it because you know you're going to be a little bit behind the 8 ball. When you're not doubled up, you lose a lot of real estate there. So these drivers trying to get everything that they can get. Let's do a field run through right now as the yellow lights still stay on. It is Ryan Kuhn has led every lap since the green flag is dropped. It'll be Bladen Edwards running second. Caden Tufts up 4 spots right now, and he is tied for the hard charger. Or no, excuse me, he needs one more spot to get the hard charger award here tonight. It'll be Justin Hazlitt running 4th. Pete Polini rounding out your top 5. Jeremy Little will run 6th with Thomas Bennett up to your 7th spot. Ken Zeems, your hard charger of the race. He's up 5 spots since the green flag has come out here tonight in the Rayco ePerformance 125. For Ken Zeems, Tyler Shattuck runs 9th, and rounding out your top 10 will be the 23 of Nicholas Weatherby.
Yeah, we'll run through here with an 11th spot, the 112. Hayden Devon Cobb, he got himself into a couple cautions earlier on. You got the 94 Kyle Morse running 12th. 13th is going to be, that'll be the 94 Kyle Morse and Urko Irkolani. Garrett Zacharias, Mark Keatman, Cody Verrill, Josh Cole, Grant Thomas, and Matt Zaccardo rounding out the cars on the lead lap. Critchley's down 9 to the leader, and Jared Jackson with a tough showing, down 26 to the leader.
Looks like the 27C taking that car behind the pit wall. So tough break for Curtis Critchley. Jared Jackson also behind the pit wall. So 2 cars out of this race. Everybody else on the lead lap here working. We're going to have 16 laps to go at the line. Ryan Kuhn, very slow pace. Now we'll drop the hammer and open up a 10-car length advantage down here in the turn number 1.
Ryan Kuhn with a monster start now. He's got about 2-3, make it almost 4 car lengths as they head through 2. The 72X of Edwards trying to hold pace, but he's getting a challenge from the 88 of Caden Tufts. Tufts in that 3rd position now, trying to find his way up to this top pair, but he's right now just riding there in 3rd. You got the 27 behind them. He's also hanging in there, and they are all single file, just trying to ride it out for a couple laps, get some laps underneath them, and then make a charge here as we're into the last 15 laps of this race.
That's 15 laps of the race. The 55 a little, that time a little bit out of shape in the turn number 3. That allows Bennett to take a peek to the outside. Here comes the 890, Ken Zeems. Zeems going to work the outside of the racetrack as the 88 Tufts hits the outside wall, and that stacked them up there as Bennett will take a dive to the inside of the 55 a little off of turn number 2. Almost contact, but they keep it pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, the 88 Tufts makes his way around Hazlitt. They cleared him, and now they're all stacked up with Pete Polini there. Polini hanging in there right behind the 27 of Hazlitt. He's also trying to make his way up through. He's made it to 5th, but he's going to look a little bit more as they're battling with the 55 a little. The 33 now working to the inside of him, can't quite find a way. Oh, we got one into the wall. The 112 now, big trouble as they head into 3. 31 tags them, the 112 goes around, and that'll gather 2, 3, 4 cars now.
Warren driver, Mark Keatman in the 54, also sitting down there in turn number 3 to bring out the 11th yellow flag of the evening here at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park. As we get on it back under the, everybody getting pointed back in the right direction. And let's take a look and see what happened to bring out this big yellow flag here in turn number 3. See him working down the backstretch to 112. Oh, got the outside wall. Carpenter gave him some room to get the 112 come back across. And everybody's jumping on the gas, the brake pedal. And it sent the 31 of Carpenter, Keatman, and the 112 of Devon Cobb all into each other. One of those things where you're trying to check up and the guy behind you just doesn't check up enough. And, well, that sends them around into the spin cycle. And we got some torn up sheet metal down there in turn number 3.
Yeah, these cars are a little bit tough with their sight lines inside of them ever since they got the new body styles put on them. And a lot of times you can't quite see past the car in front of you, and then before you know it, you got a pile up in your lap. I want to give a shout out to the 71 of Zacharias. He just barely missed all of it. Drifts his way into turn 3, gathers it up between 3 and 4, and keeps the spot without hitting anything.
Let's take a look at that there. Take a look at that. We'll go on board and the inboard camera. You see the action in front of him. Checks it up, sees the action. Maybe a slight contact with the 31. Dirt tracking it. Down into the grass, though, and gets it pointed back in the right direction. Great hands and feet coordination with the driver of the 71. As we come back live here, he paces. He's one spot outside of a top 10 right now for the 71 of Zacharias. But great racing all night long. Ryan Kuhn, these yellow flags have got to be making it a little bit more reassuring that they can make it the distance.
Yeah, that's going to be a blessing for these top 3, 4 guys. With right now Hazlitt, he's been trying to work his way up through. The 88 of Caden Tufts has been looking really strong on these restarts. If he could get his way up in there, maybe force a little something onto Edwards, he might be a factor in this race too. But that 72 of Kuhn, he is tough on the pole. He gets such a great jump down the front stretch, and before you know it, he's got 2 car lengths on you because you're battling with third as second's going at it with you too. So it's been tough on these restarts, but Kuhn's been making his way through it with no problems at all.
I believe this should be a double file restart unless race control is going to keep it single file. That's going to put Edwards to the outside. It's going to put Hazlitt to the outside of Tufts. But how about the 51 of Polini? Do these yellow flags hurt the effort of that 51 coming forward? We know he's on fresher tires, but these heat cycles of getting them up to temperature and then cooling back down underneath the yellow flags, looks like it'll stay a single file restart. They're going to double them up in the turn number 1. So double file restart coming. Will that 51 have a little bit of an advantage starting on the inside with fresher tires?
Yeah, them fresher tires are going to be nice. Like you said, you run into a problem with them being heat cycled. You're worried about them getting glazed over. We see drivers shaking them back and forth. They're getting ready to go down the backstretch. I mean, this could be the last restart now. So we're down into that 7 lap to go mark. This should be the run to the end.
This time off a turn number 4, the green flag will fly for the 72 of Kuhn. He's going to jump on the gas pedal. The 72 of Edwards, a lot better restart. That time a little bit of a wheel spin, but he will clear the third place drivers. It's a great battle. Here comes Hazlitt working to the outside of that battle off a turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Hazlitt to third. It's now Tufts going to fall back to fourth. Bellini going to slide it into the fifth spot, but he's got Bennett now in his back pocket off of turn number 4.
Yeah, Hazlitt with that big move, he gets himself back up into the podium
trouble
position.
down the front stretch.
Trouble.
Trouble down the front stretch. Looks like the number 94 of Kyle Morse has gone around. Keatman also involved as he quickly brings it down into the pit area. But a tough, that looked like a yellow flag situation there on that restart. I believe they got a lap in, but we will see. They were coming off turn number 4, just hard racing. I was just about ready to say, Justin, they were racing pretty hard side by side in the back of the field.
Yeah, you saw when they were going through 2 there, Zacharias stuck it 3 wide for a moment. A lot of these guys trying to make that last charge towards the front, and unfortunately the 94 of Morse, after contact with the 4 of Grant, that's what sent him around.
Yeah, let's go on board riding, looking out the backside to see the number 4 Grant touch to the inside and around. He will go. I think Coloni able to get through without any damage, and that thought it looked though it was going to be a lot bigger than what it really was. 94, just a kind of a solo spin after some contact with the Mopar number 4 of Grant. And looks like maybe the 54 of Mark Keatman has taken that 54. He's still on pit road trying to get the damage fixed to that number 54.
Yeah, Ercolini did a great job of missing that. It's real tough when they come off of 4. All the cars kind of funnel towards the top of the track. So whenever you have a little bit of a mix-up, somebody getting turned around, it's usually a lot worse than that, but drivers using their head looking for a spot to go and making their way through it. So luckily for Ercolini, he wasn't involved in that incident.
No, and they worked down through the field here. Now it'll be Grant Thomas working it down into the corner behind the number 60 of Zaccardo. Zachariah is able to pick up a few spots. He's into the 9th spot now. Tyler Shattuck back to 10th. But that restart there with Poloni able to hold on to that 5th spot, but he was being challenged by the 33 of Bennett pretty hard there in the turn number 1.
Yeah, these restarts have been real exciting here. Drivers looking to make their way around other ones in front of them, and this track is kind of taking on about 2 grooves right now. You've got that real top side that carries the momentum, but if you can get a dive bomb into the corner, kind of squeeze the guy outside of you a little bit, you can make up some ground on the backstretch and get a position, and that's kind of what happened to Hazlitt on the 88. That's how he got around him, and now he's in the podium position.
Right now, this is going to be tough as we get 3 laps to go. I believe we're going to go into an overtime situation, and I am looking at the notes right now to find out if we have multiple attempts or if it's just one for the day, and we'll find that out. But Justin, that could play into the hands of Polini, who has extra fuel on board, where these other guys who are already close, we know that they were close on fuel. Now we're going to go into extra laps. Will they be able to make it?
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting. We're seeing on the board here, green, white, checker attempt, 1 of 3. These guys will get 3 attempts here at a green, white, checker. So you hear the top 2, 3 cars clutching down the front stretch, shutting them off. You see the 72X of Edwards backing up quite a bit. So you know they're close. They're worried, but they're staying out, and they're going to stick with the program here.
At this point, you kind of lay in the bed that you have made as lights go out on the pace car. We're going to double them up once again. Now, if you're starting behind those guys, you know that they have not come down pit road yet. We are working lap 124. They're going to have a green, white, and checkered, assuming we get back to the white flag to end this race here. So once they get the white flag, this race will be official. They'll race back to the checkered flag. But if we don't make it to the white flag, that's going to add more pace laps and more green flag laps here for your top 4 drivers who have stayed out. Green flag getting ready to come back out as the pace car will roll down pit road, hopefully for the final time, as the green flag will come out as Kuhn jumps on the gas pedal.
Kuhn gets a great restart as they head down on the 72X of Edwards, looking for pressure from the 27 of Hazlitt. Hazlitt with a big charge down the inside. He's got Caden Tufts, though. Tufts on the outside of him as they work down the backstretch. Caden Tufts looking to make it into that top 3 position. It's all Kuhn out front. 72X of Edwards gets a little bit of a bump from the 88 of Tufts. Then the 27 of Hazlitt working to the inside of him. It's going to be a shootout on the last lap.
Final trip into turn number 1. Does Kuhn have enough gas as Polini will slide up in front of Jeremy Little? Little going to try to do the crossover move. All eyes are on the battle for that third spot as it is the number 27 Hazlitt. He throws it in deep contact with the 88 of Tuft. Tuft rolls off the gas, but off of turn number 4, it'll be Ryan Kuhn picking up the win. Edwards finished in second. Hazlitt will get credited for 4. Tufts and Polini will end out the top 5 here unofficially as the Ryco E-Performance 125 will go extra distance, and we'll see how close they were as Ryan Kuhn going to come around here onto the front stretch, and he will celebrate his second straight win in the Big Ten Super Series presented by RS Button Boxes here on the front stretch. And he might have, oh, it looks like he got refired, or he might be out of gas.
Yeah, that last lap was real interesting. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of a melee down the backstretch. The 33 and the 71 of Zacharias coming together, and Zacharias paying the price in that top 10 running spot.
Ryan Kuhn burning it down here with a Bernie's Liquor number 72. Ryan Kuhn Motorsports entry Toyota Camry burning it down. As he does that, we're going to step away for a quick moment. We'll be right back with the Ryco E-Performance post-race show from the Lucas Oil Raceway.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back here to the Lucas Oil Raceway Park, where Ryan Kuhn has just picked up his second straight win here of the evening. As we will get down here onto the front stretch, we're going to start off with our third place finisher of Justin Hazlitt. And Justin Hazlitt comes home in the third position. Justin, talk us about how hairy and how wild of a race the Ryco E-Performance 125 was for you. And we're here with the 27 of Justin Hazlitt on the front stretch. Justin coming home in the third spot, but you had the fight tooth and nail for that one. Talk us through the Ryco eSport 125. Having a little bit of difficulties down here with our microphones. We'll take and get that connected. Justin Hazlitt, this is Al Smith up in the Turn 3 booth. You got a copy with us now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, coming home in the third spot. It is all good and dandy, but man, you look worn out after that one. It was a hard-fought battle to come home in that third spot. Talk us through the Ryco eSport 125.
Yeah, the main strategy throughout the race was kind of just to really save tires the whole time. Didn't think it was going to be the severity that it was. Me, Ryan, and Bladen, I think none of us pitted. I think I had about 0.9 gallons left of fuel at the end, so that was a heavy part of this race, was making sure we had enough fuel to even make it through it. Passing here was almost non-existent. It was really hard. I feel like I had the pace to be able to run up there with Ryan. I could put down some really quick laps early in the run. It's just so hard to get under somebody and be able to have it stick on the way out.
Yeah, talk about that. We saw the track start off very, very hot here, and as the sun went down, the track temperature started to come down. We saw the lines start moving around a little bit, but at that point of the race, your tires were probably pretty worn out. Were you worried about the guys coming from the back of the field that had tires that maybe have a little bit more maneuverability in the race cars compared to what you guys were on out there, not coming down at all? And how close were you guys on fuel?
So I was keeping my eye on it. I think Pete Polini was one of the first ones of the guys that was up there running with us. That was the pit. When we were, main thing I was watching him, I was trying to keep my eye on him when he was coming up through the field to really see how fast is he moving up through it, and is it going to be able to compete with us when we get up there on those fresh tires, and if they made that big of a difference. Don't think he got really, I think he may have ended up in 5th or 4th. So I mean, they obviously, the newer tires had some pace, but with the amount of cautions we had, the tires had so much time to cool down and still give us the ability to run them hard. And if we would have went another 2 laps, 3 laps, green flag, I don't think I would have had enough fuel.
Well, we end this one here tonight. A little bit of overtime. We knew that you were close. We were wondering if anybody was going to stumble on those last ones here tonight. But you come home 3rd and you move on. Next week we are off as we pay tribute to our mothers and in our wives if we have kids and stuff. But who makes it all possible for this number 27 to be here on the podium here tonight at Lucas Oil?
Well, first things first, I want to thank all the sponsors that run the series. They will make us be able to come out here and have such amazing broadcasters like yourselves, and really just allow us to put on the show that we want to put on. I really want to thank my OER Motorsports team. All of us, we always practice and run. We run a different couple series as well. And then obviously coming up, I do want to thank my mom and both my parents. So, yep, that's about it.
All right, well, congratulations on your 3rd place finish here tonight. That is Justin Hazlitt that's going to wound up in the 3rd spot, and that will move us down the road here just a little bit, and that'll go to the number 72 Axe, and this is the driver of Bladen Edwards. And Bladen, you started on the outside of the front row. You ran a very, very tough race down here and right behind the 72 of Kuhn. What else did you need out of the 72X to make it into the victory lane?
I just think I needed a little more exit speed. Or just a little free off, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely a little bit free off there. Talk us, how close were you? We were hearing over race team chatter that the you guys up in the top 4 that had not pitted all race long were pretty close on fuel. Were you worried about that coming to this last in the green, white, checkered?
Oh yeah, if the race would have went green, I wouldn't have made it. Caution kind of saved me there.
Well, you come home in the 2nd spot here tonight, and what a great showing for you in the 72X. Great looking race car. Who makes it all possible for you?
The guys over at CGE, Marconi Setup Shop. Senator with Shine, ITCR. Everyone over there, those guys.
Well, congratulations on 2nd, Bladen. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time at the new Smyrna Speedway.
Thank you.
That's your runner-up here tonight with the number 72X of Bladen Edwards, and Edwards going to come home in that number 2 spot as he rolls away, and that will leave us with our feature event winner. We're going to see if we can get him up here, and for some reason unable to move him, so let's see if we can get him to come up here or not. So he needs to be moved there, so let's take a look. We'll take and run down here into the chat here. I don't have permissions to move you either, Ryan, so we're gonna come down here and we are on the front stretch with the 72. 2nd week in a row you come home with picking up the win. Talk us through this Ryco E-Performance 125.
Yeah, it was a good race. A little more cautions than I would have hoped at the end there, but it's racing. It's part of racing. So I showed up with about 5 minutes left to practice because I just came home from the real life races, and we had a good day there and a good day here. made up for a second place finish earlier today in the real world racing. So I'm happy to be back in victory lane.
Always happy to be back in victory lane. It's going to be your second straight win, but talk about how tricky and difficult this racetrack is here at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
It took me about 25 laps to really get used to it, get back in a rhythm. But once I got back in a rhythm, and honestly didn't drive too much different than the old Super Late model, the old body car. But I kind of drove it the same, and this is probably the closest racing it's been to the last builds. So I'm happy about that, and I was good here in the old builds, so that obviously transferred over into this one. So it was a fun race, good car, and on to the next one.
On to the next one. It'll be in 2 weeks' time. We go to the new Smyrna Speedway. How's Smyrna down there for you guys? That's a tough little bull ring that we're going to head to next here for the Big Ten Super Series.
Tough place. That's definitely not my best, not my cup of tea. But hopefully, hopefully we can come out of there pretty good. I'm not sure if I'll make the one after that, but I'm excited for New Smyrna and hopefully have a good run there.
Well, congratulations on your second straight feature event win. Who makes it all possible? Who you got to thank that made it all possible here tonight for you?
I think Berners Liquors, Everett's Auto Parts, Modern Auto Body, Coastal Heritage Bank, Cookie Driver Development Program, RKM Setup Shop, Studio 10 Wraps for this beautiful car, and you guys in the booth. Big Ten Super Series does an unbelievable job of controlling this race and helping people race clean, and it's really fun.
Well, congratulations. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time, and good luck in the race in the real world. We'll hopefully over next weekend you'll end up one spot better in the real side.
Yeah.
You're welcome. There you go. That is tonight's feature event winner. The number 72 of Ryan Kuhn will pick up tonight's win. And Justin, we bring you back in here now as we are winding down here tonight. As you see the results scrolling on the top of the screen here as we take a look here. But what an amazing race. We heard in the interviews, these drivers were kind of hoping for maybe a few less cautions, and they were definitely nervous with the yellow laps accumulating and going into overtime. They were worried about running out of fuel.
Yeah, we were wondering how close it was going to be, and you heard a lot of them drivers saying that it was real close. If they had more green flag laps, they probably wouldn't have made it. So with the extra cautions, it really helped them out, but as soon as they got down to the green-white checker, them guys were really biting their nails and worrying if they had enough to make it, if there was another green-white checker. So it was very interesting. Good race to see as far as strategy playing out for a couple different drivers, and it paid off for Ryan Kuhn in the end.
Hey, let's take a look at the results here tonight as they come up onto the screen, and picking up the win in the Ryco ePerformance 125. Ryan Kuhn picked up the win. Bladen Edwards and Justin Haslett, we heard from your top three. Then it was Caden Tuss back there in the fourth spot, and Pete Polini who had a nice rebound to finish inside the top five. Jeremy Little will come home sixth with Thomas Bennett seventh. Nicholas Weatherby eighth, and Garrett Zacharias will come home ninth. You're a hard charger of the race. It'll get to Salon. I will spit it out here, I promise. Oh, it's been a long day in the broadcast booth, Justin, as we come through here, and it do a great job here. The Karma Salon and Day Spa will go to the number 41 of Mario Ercoloni, who's up 7 spots, tied with the number 4 of Grant Thomas, who will finish 11th. Kyle Morse, Tyler Shattuck, Cody Verrill, Josh Cole rounding out your top 15.
Yeah, 16th will go to the 31 of Brad Carpenter. Matt Zaccardo finishing 17th in that 60 car. Hayden Devon Cobb, after a tough day with the 112, he ended up 18th. 19th is Ken Zeems in the 90. 20th will be Mark Keatman in the 54. Curtis Critchley in the 027. Had a tough go, was looking strong and making a good rebound, but unfortunately it didn't work out for him. Jared Jackson, after a strong showing last week, he had a tough finish there, 46 laps down in 22nd place.
Yeah, in the tough break there, as we take a look at the unofficial point standings as they leave Lucas Oil here for the Big Ten Super Series. And it is Ryan Kuhn has jumped out to a 15-point lead over Justin Hazlitt. It'll be the number 51 of Pete Poloni. He's up to the third spot. Caden Tufts and Garrett Zacharias, your top 5 unofficially after tonight's feature event winner here. The Rayco ePerformance 125 is next week. We are off for Mother's Day, and then the series will resume May 16th down at the New Smyrna Speedway. I want to thank everybody for tuning on in here tonight to the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name is the Boss Man, Al Smith, and I am next to the Bearded Wonder from Wilton. It is Justin Smith, who will thank you for being in the booth here, Justin, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Remember, we'll see you at the races.